This man is drunk. Wait, am I drunk? I'm nobody. Yes, you do have a problem. God's got this. No, I got this. You're stupid. You're dumb. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a leader. I am Marcus J. Scott. I'm Marcus J. Scott, author of The Drunken Preacher, here to encourage critical thinking, social awareness, advocate growth, resilience, provide hope, and help you find faith. Welcome to another edition of The Drunken Preacher Podcast. I'm Marcus J. Scott, and man, I'm telling you, I got a super exciting one today. Let's jump right into it. And so, have you ever been there where you got so comfortable that comfort was costing you? Yeah, have you ever gotten to a place where you got so comfortable with where you were, the money was good, decent, all your bills were paid, everything was great with the family, but you got so comfortable with your job, with the business, with the position you were in, that after a while you realized it started costing you? It started costing you from what you were really called to do, from growing in your comfort. And so today I want to talk about when comfort cost you. Yeah, when comfort cost you. You know, I remember when at one point I was at Bank of America and working in a position where, you know, I didn't have to verbally talk to the customer. All I had to do was some simple back end work. And, you know, it got so comfortable, the job honestly became easy. You know, it became easy. And me being a person that always wants to grow, you know, I wasn't feeling satisfied. But there was also a cap in what we could make in that particular position. And as I wanted, you know, different things. I wanted opportunities to go on vacations and do things. I was like, man, this is costing me not to be able to give more to my kids, not to be able to go on vacations. There were certain things that I couldn't do because it was outside of my budget, because I was somewhat comfortable where I was. And for me, even though that was in a short period of time, it was costing me. But I'll go even a little bit deeper. You know, in my depressive state, the drinking became my comfort. But that drinking was costing me my health. That drinking was costing me ultimately my sanity, my family, my children, my relationships. And things begin to go worse. Have you ever gotten so comfortable where you start eating certain foods, you start, you know, maybe you're in a relationship, maybe you're married and you don't care as much about your weight, and so you kind of eat anything you want, you don't exercise, and so we not only start to not look good, but then it starts costing us our health. It starts costing us because our blood pressure is going up. It starts costing us because um, we're getting these different diseases, sugar diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. And then it's affecting us physically. I've been seeing lately, you know, younger people have things like heart attacks and strokes. And sometimes we can prevent those by eating the stuff that maybe not so comfortable to us. Maybe stop eating the ice cream. Maybe stop eating the high salt foods. Maybe stop eating meat all the time. You know, there are different things that contribute to the health of our body, but because they taste good. You know, I was on my way back from Atlanta the other day and I was hungry. I went into the store, the gas station that we stopped at, I got 2 hot dogs. They were on sale. I was looking at prices and stuff. Got me 2 hot dogs and I think a bag of chips, which I hadn't eaten that in so long I can't even remember. But I said, I'm just hungry. I'm gonna just get something real cheap. And, I haven't had, I think it was pork skins. I haven't had pork skins in so long. I'm gonna just get me a bag of pork skins and 2 hot dogs. And the next day I was sick. Yeah, the next day I was sick because I had not eaten food like that in so long. My body wasn't used to it. But that's because I had already weaned myself off of those type of foods. And so have you ever gotten to a place where you're so comfortable that your body is okay with the ice cream? Your body is okay with the candy for now. It's okay with the chocolates. It's okay with the sweets. It's okay with the a lot of salt on your food. It's okay with the different foods that we eat that taste good. But then it becomes a point where we're overweight. We're tired all the time. Maybe because of the sugars that we're eating. We don't have the energy. Our body feels weak. Some of us don't exercise because we're comfortable not getting up in the morning. We're comfortable sleeping all the time. We're comfortable when we're not working our regular 9-to-5 job, that we're just laying in the bed on social media. We're doing things that are comfortable to us, and it begin to cost us. You say you want to be the best at whatever it is you're doing, but you're not spending the extra time to work on it. Yeah, you're comfortable watching the TV. You're comfortable sleeping extra time. You're comfortable taking the naps. You're comfortable talking to your friends on the phone for hours at a time. You're comfortable not taking the extra time that it takes to learn new things. You're comfortable not taking the extra time to learn what it may take to take you to the next level. And yet now it's costing you because you're not willing to learn. You're not willing to self-develop. And so what do you do when you get comfortable and it starts to cost you? And then you're not truly pursuing your calling. You're not truly pursuing what your true purpose is. And so I believe we have seasons when we talk about our purpose. So in one season, your purpose may be to focus on a certain area. But then what happens when it's time to grow? And so we need to evaluate when comfort starts to cost us. It begins to cost us stuff like stagnation, missed opportunities. We can become spiritually numb, and it can delay our purpose. Yeah, let me say those again. It can cause us stagnation. It can cause missed opportunities. It can cause some spiritual numbness, and it could cause a delay in our purpose. And so we have to evaluate those things. The stagnation, growth only happens when we step into discomfort. Yeah, it happens. Growth only happens when we step into discomfort. I was just talking to somebody in one of my classes the other day. They were like, Marcus, I never done real estate. This is hard. I don't know if I can do it. As if everybody else in the class has already done real estate before. As if they already have done. Most of the people that come take my class are changing careers. And so most of the time, nobody has previously done. There are some, but there's more that have not done real estate than they are. And so I asked this person, I said, let me ask you this. Everything you learned in life, the first time you learned it, had you done it before? I mean, think about that. The first time you walked, you had never walked before. And so you probably fell down a couple times when you were a child. The first time you learned how to ride a bike, the first time you got on the bike, you had never done it before. You had to learn it, right? It was uncomfortable. The first time you learn how to write, the first time you learn how to cursive write. Well, I don't know about the young people, because apparently they're not teaching cursive writing anymore in school. But the first time you learn how to type, the first time you learn how to do anything that we learned to do, you hadn't done it prior to you doing it the first time. And so people, they have this thing, oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's so difficult. Well, you're telling yourself that it's so difficult because you're gotten comfortable. But you only grow when there is discomfort. You only grow when you are learning something. And so learning brings about sometimes discomfort. That's the only way for us not to be stagnant, is to become uncomfortable. And so what are you going to change up today and become uncomfortable with? And then as far as our missed opportunities, comfort zone blinds us to open doors. Sometimes we're scared to walk through the door because we're unsure of what's on the other side. We're comfortable being in the know where we currently are, where we currently stand. But when we can't see beyond the door could be wide open for us, but we're nervous about walking through there because we're not sure what's on the other side. And so sometimes we don't walk through doors that are open because we're comfortable on this side of the door. Yeah, we miss out on opportunities because we're not willing to see beyond what we can't see. We're not willing to take a leap of faith on what we can't see on the other side. And so we begin to be blinded by the opportunity. A lot of times we don't even pay attention to the door being open because we're so comfortable. And then comfort can keep us from praying, fasting, and seeking God deeply. You know why? Because you start to see in your own strength. I had a huge problem with this because, a lot of times, even now, sometimes when I pray and I ask God for God to help me. But then mentally, I start trying to think about the ways that I can make it happen. I start trying to logically think about, okay, I prayed and I asked God, but if I just do this, 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 and this, I can. He can do it. Well, I just named all the things I could do. And so a lot of times we get comfortable, and if we do pray for something, we're trying to pray within our parameters. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. We try to pray when we're in our parameters. God, I pray that you can allow me to make $60,000 this year. Now you're already making 58,000. You're already making 55,000. And all you got to do to make the 60,000 is get a part-time job working maybe an extra 5 hours a week, and you done hit the mark. Oh, thank you, Lord. You allow me to make the $60,000. But you already had that planned out, and that's something that you can do. And so you're putting it in your own strength anyway. God's like, well, why you come to me for that? And you can actually do that. You can actually take the little bit you're asking me for and do it on your own. So what do you need me for? Or we're so comfortable where we are because all the bills are paid, relationships are going good. And so you're not even praying because you're almost praying out of formality. Yeah, you're almost praying out of formality. Or you're not praying, you're skipping out because everything is so good. And, I often find out when we are doing what we're supposed to do and everything is going good, we tend to sometimes drift off. Why? Because in our minds, in our subconscious, everything is going good and we don't really need God because it's going good. And so here come tests, here come trials. Sometimes he just let things come because he's like, hey, you've been you've been away from me for a while. You've gotten so comfortable and you're not coming to talk to me like you normally would. You're not coming to talk to me when you going through a struggle. And so I'm going to allow this storm to come your way. I'm going to allow this situation to happen because then you'll come back and talk to me a little more. I know whenever I'm going through something, and I mean, I'm just thinking about this honestly right now. When I'm going through something, man, I'm praying 2, 3, 4 times a day. I mean, almost as the Bible does say, I'm praying constantly. Just driving in my car because I'm going through. Lord, you're gonna have to help me. Lord, please help me. Just renew my mind. Just help me get through the day. But then when everything is going good, I'm listening to music in the car. I'm on the phone. I'm doing other stuff, not really thinking about, okay, this is a quiet time for me to just talk to God, going from point A to point B. And so we become spiritually numb when things are comfortable. And so sometimes, whether we do it or not, God has to allow stuff to happen to help us get out of that comfort zone of spirituality and coming to him and saying, hey, look, I need some more time. Yeah, I need some more time. And so maybe some of the stuff that we're going through is because we haven't taken the time out to spend with God. We haven't taken the time out to thank him for the small things. I just recently had, we just recently as a family, my bonus daughter was in the hospital and she couldn't walk for a couple days. And God tapped me on the shoulder and said, you need to start thanking me for the simple things in life. We take things like walking or breathing or moving our limbs for granted. Why? Because we're so comfortable. That's like everyday stuff. And so being able to move our fingers and our hands and our arms, being able to walk, being able to breathe on our own, we do it every day. We're so comfortable in that we don't take the time to thank God for the small things. God, I thank you for allowing me to breathe your air. I thank you for allowing me to be able to move my limbs. I thank you for some of the pain that I have because I still feel my legs there. My arms are there. Even though I have pain in my back, I can actually feel the pain. I'm not paralyzed or I don't have nerve damage to the point where I don't feel anything. And so how about we start thanking God for the small things and don't get so comfortable in the small things that are happening daily because they're just normal to us now. Oh yeah, I got up out the bed and walked in the kitchen. I was able to go to the bathroom on my own. I was able to bathe myself. And so we don't take the time out to say, man, some people can't do this. I remember being in Haiti where we stayed in this particular house, and the outside place where we were staying didn't have running water. Yeah, we didn't have running water. So here in the U.S., we take things like turning on the faucet and water just comes out for granted. Yeah, we had to go outside in a particular hut to take a shower. We had to pour water in the toilet for it to flush like we're used to. They didn't have running water in some areas, in some of the places that we were in. We take stuff as simple as turning on a faucet or flushing a toilet for granted. Good, clean water to drink. We take those things for granted. And so being comfortable sometimes allows us to be spiritually stagnant, to become spiritually numb, and actually having, as I say on the show all the time, having a heart of gratitude because we're comfortable with the normal stuff that's happening every day. And then delaying our purpose. Staying comfortable may feel safe, but it delays our destiny. Just recently, we've been challenged to do some things and write some things down that we're going to stick to on a daily basis. And our men, the men's group that I'm in, we've been challenged to say, hey, put it in the group chat, and then we're gonna have these other men hold you accountable. And in doing that, I was a little nervous because I'm like, okay, here it is. I'm actually writing something down and putting it out there for someone to actually hold me accountable. And yet I say, hey, God, I want to go here. I want to go to this next level. I want to be able to do this. And he's saying, okay, I need you to be held accountable to do what you said you was going to do. Now, if I don't do these things, I truly believe it's going to delay what God has for me. And so he's put me in some circles with some people that's going to check on me and say, hey, are you doing what you're supposed to do? And I begin to think to myself, if I don't want to really do it because I was uncomfortable putting this out there, because for me, it's like, but then somebody can come back and say, hey, you the one say it. You said you want to accomplish this. And that would make me feel uncomfortable, but that would also delay the destiny that God has for me. That would also delay the blessings that God has for me. I keep telling them I want to get to a certain level, a certain status when it comes to my finances, and yet I'm having to do some things and allow somebody to hold me accountable in those things in order for me to get where I said I want to be. And yet if I don't do those things, it will delay what God has for me. And so what is God asking you to do that's uncomfortable? What is God asking you to do that's uncomfortable, that if you don't do it, it might delay where you're supposed to be? It might delay what you're supposed to be doing. It might delay what you said, what you've been praying for. Because sometimes we do pray for those things that are outside our realm, which we ought to be doing, which I talked about in the spiritual stagnation, not growing, because we're not going to prayer as much. Or if we are praying, we're praying for things that are in our comfort zone, or things that we could see ourselves logically doing. But if we don't do some of the things that we said we want to do that's been placed before us, it delays our blessing, it delays our destiny, it delays what God has for us. And so what is it that you said you wanted to do? What is it that God has said, okay, if you want that, I need you to do X. I need you to get somebody that's going to hold you accountable. I need somebody that is going to check you for the things you said you wanted to do. That might be one thing right now that God is telling you. Get an accountability partner. Get somebody that's going to hold you accountable. Get a coach. Get a friend. I mean, not anybody that's going to say yes all the time. No, somebody that's going to challenge you on keeping you in the space that you're supposed to be in, keeping you in the disciplines that you're supposed to be in. And so that when you get out of line, they can check you. Oh yeah, that's real uncomfortable. That's real uncomfortable. You know what? I say I'm going to get on this health plan. I say I'm going to do this. Now, hey friend, I need you to hold me accountable. Ask me daily, what have I eaten? check on me. Have I been to the gym? Recently I've been getting, quite a bit of texts and things where people saying, hey, I see you out there doing the health thing. I need you to hold me accountable. Okay, bet. Great. Let's do it. And it's not out of, hey, gotcha. No, it's out of, hey, I'm checking on you. Are you doing what you said you were going to do? Hey, let's do this together. It helps us reach the goals and the potential that we have when we have someone that's holding us accountable, that's saying, hey, I care about you enough to see you grow. I care about you enough to walk with you through this process. And so we have to not be in fear of failure. We can't have fear of rejection. We can't desire to always have control when we're talking about wanting to grow, wanting to go to another level, wanting to be who God has called us to be. If we're going to continue to want to be comfortable, we have to be willing to have some discomfort. We have to be willing to have some discomfort if we want to grow, if we want to go to that level where we believe God has us to go and grow. So what are we gonna become uncomfortable with today? What are we gonna become uncomfortable with this week in order for us to grow? I want to challenge you today. I want to challenge you this week. Let's do something that is truly, truly gonna allow us to be uncomfortable. I'm going to challenge you. What is it that's going to what is it that's going to stretch you? Speaking of, this just hit me. When we stretching is good for us. But stretching a lot of times is the most uncomfortable thing. When we're stretching our limbs. I just heard John Maxwell say this. They put a bunch of rubber bands on the table at a seminar or something they were doing, and they say, hey, figure out all the different ways that you can use this rubber band. Figure out all the different ways that you can use this rubber band. Then they ask the people, hey, what do all the tables and things have in common with what you're doing with the rubber band? They said the one thing that they notice is the rubber band had to be stretched in order to be used. That's a good one. The rubber band, all the tables had in common, in order for the rubber band to be used, it had to be stretched. Are you being stretched in whatever you're doing, whatever your career is, whatever your job is, wherever you're trying to go? Are you being stretched? Are you getting out of your comfort zone, or are you just continuing to be comfort? The comfort is costing you. The comfort is costing you. Let's be uncomfortable. What are you going to do this week to stretch yourself? What are you going to do this week that's going to cause you to be somewhat uncomfortable? Let's get out of our comfort zone. Let's stretch this week so that we can grow and go to the level that God has for us. All right. Hey, that's my time for today. Man, I really enjoy being on here every Monday morning. I'm super excited. I'm still trying to work out the schedule with my mother. I'm definitely going to get her on here. Man, I tell you, I got some more stuff coming up to include. I don't want to tell you yet because you might hold me accountable, but not just that. It's just some things that we're working on, and I want you to stay tuned. Continue to follow us on MarcusJScott.com, MarcusJScott.com, and MarcusJScott4040 on Instagram and YouTube. Man, I appreciate all of you who follow me. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like MarcusJScott4040. Marcus J. Scott 4040. And until next time, remember, always have a heart of gratitude and the strength to keep moving forward. God bless you.
Drunken Preacher.